Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Jason Marshall with the ASA Group, and welcome to the Slice. This is a Black Men of the Insurance Industry live LinkedIn event, and I'm here with some distinguished guests, and we're just gonna just hang out in a barbershop style fashion, if you will. And might I not forget that this is brought to you by Joe Loft Pie, where Black insurance professionals can come together and network and things like that. So be sure to check out Joe Lau Pie. So joelaupai.com. So again, I'm Jason Marshall with the ASA Group, and this is the Slice. I want to thank Ngazi for having us on. And so let's just do a quick introduction of each one of you all. The topic for this morning is a real high value man. So we got some really interesting individuals. I consider them to be some high value men based on what I've known in just a short period of time. And so first up, I just wanted to ask Mr. Jason. Jason, if you could give us a quick introduction. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll move on to Pierre, and then we'll jump right into it.
Certainly, Jason Murray. I'm a sales and marketing consultant. I'm a financial service entrepreneur and a three-time best-selling author. I'm
There it
happy to
is.
be here today.
All right. Awesome. See that's what I'm saying. That's he's already showing to be a high value man, right? And then we got Pierre here as well with CNF Bank. Go ahead and share a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm Pierre Green. I'm a wealth advisor at CNF Bank with over 18 years of service in the industry. Excited to share with you brothers this morning.
Awesome, awesome. And I guess I'll just touch a little bit about what I do. Again, Jason Marshall with the ASA Group. We're a brokerage general agency, and we help insurance and finance professionals all across the country. So just kind of, I guess, touch on this and kind of we'll go around the room to kind of, see how you guys, feel about, I guess, the true definition. I guess it's subjective depending on who's answering the question, but, who you all or how you all feel a high value man should move or what a real high value man is. You may see it on different blogs and things like that. Probably got to be 6 foot tall, make six figures, muscular, those types of things. Those are external qualities, but let's just maybe talk about go a little more in depth. And so feel free to jump in, chime in. Pierre, Jason, like, what do you feel a real high value man is?
Yeah, I would say, Jason, definitely someone who has integrity, someone who takes care of their family. It's one thing to start a family, but to be able to take care of your family is very much essential. And then understanding what your true purpose in life is, and then being able to align your true purpose with your God given talents. Because God has given us certain talents. But if we move
Amen.
away from our purpose, we could be distracted. So I would say, again, integrity, taking care of one's family, and really being aligned with your true purpose.
I like that, Jason. Let me add a couple more things to it. Uh, I would say understanding your value. A high value man understands their worth. You would, and with that being said, you don't compete outside of yourself. You compete with yourself. It's been really bothering me lately. We know African American men are committing suicide at higher rates these days, and it's educated brothers. It's brothers like us that are accomplished, good dudes that are taking their life, and a lot of that is we're competing with each other because that brother got a multi-million-dollar house. I feel like I need to have a multi-million-dollar house, but we have to realize, to your point, Jason, understanding our purpose that God has put us here for and just focusing on me. If I'm just competing with me, making sure I'm the best Pierre, I'm gonna have a good life. And I can't worry about what everybody else is doing.
Absolutely.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, I can kind of echo what you guys say, also, not to get preachy, but it's also the spirit of God that's within, the man that can bring the value. But yeah, loves God, loves people, has a high moral compass, ethical compass. Like you say, takes care of family. Those are really the attributes of of a real high value man. And so, I mean, in the comments, if you guys are watching this, what do you kind of define as a real high value man? Those are some excellent qualities. So, actually, Pierre is actually in the barbershop, because this is kind of like a barbershop style. We're not necessarily trying to product dump or give you a spiel about our products or services, but this is basically just a space for Black insurance and financial professionals to just gather and just network. And so, I guess tell us a little bit about, I guess, how you got into the industry, if you will. We're just talking, we network.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So I was playing professional basketball in Iceland, and I was coming back into the country. So I needed to get a job. I had a wife. I'm like, all right, I got to work now. And so I went on all these different interviews. And if you all know, they bring 30 of y'all in the room. They just try and throw who's going to stick and who's not. And so I went into this, and it was something that the recruiter said. He said, hey, it's no limit on what you can make. It's all about how hard you work. And that resonated with me. No one's going to outwork me. So you mean tell me if I work hard, I can make unlimited money? I was sold ever since, man, and got into business. Didn't know nothing, but I knew how to talk to people. And so once I got deeper into the business, I realized this is a calling. Mm-hmm. This is the form. I'm a pastor, so that's in me. And so I know that this is a calling. It goes hand in hand to educate our people about life insurance. Because when I started looking at the landscape, I'm seeing all these GoFundMe and these people didn't have. I'm like, that brother had a nice house and he left his family like this. I'm like, wait a minute, we got to tell this story. And so that sold me in the business, and I've been in the business ever since. I'm a lifer,
There it is. Awesome.
And for me, I got recruited to Merrill Lynch from a long-standing career in the sales and marketing space. I got recruited to Merrill Lynch in 2006. I was the president of National Sales Network, organization of African American sales professionals, and I had a short stint at Merrill only because the global financial crisis took place in 2008. So got my Series 7, my Series 66, my life and health insurance license, and then 2 years later, I was displaced. So I had to transition away from Merrill, and I've been with Transamerica Financial Advisors since 2010. So I don't necessarily say I'm just in the insurance industry. I'm in the financial services industry based on the licenses that I possess.
That's awesome. Pierre, that's interesting that you say that. A lot of time we think that value for us as men, like to, of course, money, being able to earn a really good, decent income and things like that. But typically, a lot of time, and I'm glad to start seeing more of us, in different avenues, starting to have success, because it's, but you've been on kind of both sides of the fence. You've been a professional athlete, but also you are an entrepreneur as well. Because typically we only think it's two avenues, and in our culture, a lot of time is either athlete or entertainer, but you can actually take the entrepreneurial route and still provide value in a lot of different situations. And but also to what you said, there are a lot of estate nightmares that you do see where people aren't properly set up or taking care of their families. We got to get out of this mindset of just want to look good externally, right? The house, the cars, and things like that. And you see oftentimes where, they appear to have it going on, right? But whenever that casket closes, you see the family fighting over the estate, or a fish fryer. Can you donate something here or there? So yeah, that really goes back to having your ducks in a row as a high value man, really taking care of business.
It goes back
was
to
interesting what you said there.
Understanding your value, man. If I know my value, I have 3 boys, 16, 9, and 3. And I tell them, don't worry about what people think of you. Focus on what makes you happy. And I want them to understand their value, because as an athlete, I allow outside influence tell me what my value was based on how I perform. And so when basketball stopped, I struggled, because I'm like, wait a minute, what's my identity? No one's calling my name. No one's cheering for me. I'm not the man no more. I'm forgotten. Right. So it really resonated with me. Like, wait a minute. Life is bigger than basketball. Life is bigger than sports. And so I had to understand my value. And then another thing, just to take a step further, understanding my time.
Right.
I can't. Time is indispensable, man. It's so valuable to us, But I realized early on I wasted a lot of time, and so now I try and focus on doing the things that I value, that feeds me, and really I'm very protective of my time now.
There it is.
That's a great point, and I would just add that, when you consider now the new student athletes now being in a position to get compensated for their name, image, and likeness, right? So they can be an athlete, but now they can begin to build their brand. And as you mentioned, like you transitioned from being an athlete and now you're a wealth manager. How many of our athletes are thinking about transitioning to being a business owner? Okay, so now we have open architecture to be able to teach our younger people to do so and to really begin that brand management early on. And I would tell you this, that for those individuals who are in our business who are able to assist these athletes for doing
There
that,
it is.
it's going to be a continued increased market for many, many years to come. So I think that your example, Pierre, is very critical to our conversation. Like, what's the value that we can put on our current career or our current lifestyle? And then how can we take that and look at retirement or look at a transitionary period? For myself, I transitioned from being a corporate employee to an entrepreneur. As a matter of fact, I just released a book on the 7 mindsets to successfully transition from employee to entrepreneur. So therefore, I have those transferable skills. We've got to teach that more in our community. That's what being a high value man is, having those transferable skills, having the ability to know what it's like to really understand how to protect yourself, how to protect your family, being properly insured. And that's an area that we can say that in our community, unfortunately, most of our community members don't understand insurance that well. Therefore, it's a misunderstood product. So we've got to do a better job of educating our community about the benefits of insurance and how it can bring value to ourselves and our families.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've heard it numerous amounts of times, when just trying to figure out, of course, I let individuals know how priceless they are, but really figuring out what the value is, because a lot of times they say, oh, how much is $50,000, $25,000 worth of coverage, but just really helping them to see what the value is, and kind of challenging them to really, protect themselves, protect their families, and things like that is very important. So I see we got a few comments here. Let's see here, Mr. Gerard Powell. I believe that's the gentleman with "You should get a license." Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he said value is in values, and I just saw a snippet of you there. I guess the other day when you were a featured guest on this podcast, Jason. I thought that was great. William Destin says,
I got a question for
yes,
you,
sir.
Jason, because in your business, you're working with different financial professionals and helping them to determine what's best for their clients. Share with us a little bit about how you do that, and how and why is that important for someone like you to educate individuals in our business on the best solutions to offer?
Yeah, I mean, I really need to focus on being more transformational than transactional. A lot of time, I get calls in from a lot of financial professionals, and they haven't even met with the client yet. And it's just like, let me see what 15, 20, or 25, 50,000, 100,000 is, and 10, 20, 30-year term and things like that. And I'm like, okay, well, how did you come up with these numbers? I don't know. I just met with the client. So the thing is really taking that consultative approach, and really figuring out what that need is. A lot of time, I like for the insurance professionals that are in here, financial professionals, don't be afraid to challenge, your client, not in a pushback type of way, but if they say, I just need this much, you just say, okay, is there any particular reason why you need this much? And a lot of times the client may say, I don't know, it just seemed like a good round number to have. What I'm finding a lot of time in our community is that we have to start over every
Okay.
generation, you know. So,
Yeah.
you know, really just challenging your clients to really ask those questions to figure out what that value is extremely important. That way you're not, you know, leaving the next generation to try to figure it out maybe a year or two down the road.
Can I add something? You made a great
Yes, sir.
point. I think we have to educate on the mindset. Most clients that we come in contact with are underinsured. They feel like I got 50,000, I'm set. And when you start going through the numbers, they look at you like, well, I didn't know I need that much. And so I think it's such a negative stigma around life insurance that predates us. When we look at like our grandparents, I remember being a kid and a white guy used to come to the black neighborhood to collect premium. It's like, what's he doing? And then you hear all the story. They were thieves, they was crooks. So as a kid, you hear those images. So when you hear life insurance, oh, they thieves. Or you hear people buy accidental policy and they die of natural causes and they think they're going to get $5 million and they get nothing. So now the insurance get, oh my God, they thieves, they're stealing us from us, they're robbing us. So I think we have to do a lot of education. We have to educate our people on the value of insurance, the value of wealth planning, things like that. And then we can move forward.
Absolutely.
But it's a mindset.
Yep.
I agree.
Because let me throw this out, gentlemen. So when we hear that phrase, if you purchase a policy, you can develop your own bank and be able to borrow against that. Do you feel like some people that you maybe share that concept with, do they feel like it might not be accurate or they're skeptical about that? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a level of skepticism, but if you properly educate them, I think, you know, you can overcome whatever, you know, reservations they may have. But I will say this, a lot of time, a lot of people aren't just ready to start building their own bank just yet, because, you know, if you don't have the proper emergency fund, when you start one of these plans, something like that, and an unexpected expense, got to stop funding this operation or this plan that I set in motion. So, but no, I mean, I think a lot of people, that's the great thing about social media and stuff like that. A lot of people are becoming a little more educated, whether it be, you know, a TikTok video or whatever. Now you probably have people coming to you asking you these questions. So I think people are becoming a lot more educated. So there is hope, and there is a lot of positive chatter about the insurance world now that I'm starting to hear.
And I'll piggyback. You said something about social media, and I get frustrated with the TikToks and the Instagram because, you know, this, Jason, having these security license, we just can't say anything.
Right.
It's not a one size fit all. All of us on this don't wear the same suit jacket. We all wear different sizes, right? And so people hear this stuff on Instagram and say, "Well, I want to start my bank." Well, you know, you only make 50,000 a year. We're not in a position to do that yet. And so they like, "Well, you're not good." And it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? The guy on TikTok or Instagram, most of them are Googling information or learning something and giving just a flat blanket statement. And so I always hesitant people say, hey, you know, do a deeper dive, talk with someone that's a professional. You know, if I'm gonna go have heart surgery, I'm not gonna come to the barbershop and get a heart surgery. I'm gonna go to a real professional that went to school, that's studied and had the credentials. Not saying that the brothers in the barbershop can't do it. I'm just not about to take that chance. And so it's the same thing. You know, if you look at some of these YouTubers and IG influencers, that, you know, this is not what they do. This is what we do every day.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And also, how about when you come across individuals who are single and maybe they don't have dependents, but yet they have the ability where they can start with an insurance policy, or they can start with not necessarily just an investment, because insurance policy is not an investment, but yet it's a level of protection. What's your thoughts on that in terms of ways we can encourage even single people who may not have dependents now, but yet the earlier they get it, they have the ability to be protected at an early age and at a lower price? What's your thoughts on that?
You really just answered the question right there, right? Get it now. The best time to get life insurance is now, because you can lock in what they call locking your insurability. So if you're healthy and everything, you know, is going great now, go ahead and get what you need, you know, whether it be, you know, just now at that point, maybe it is just, sufficient to say, hey, 50,000 or whatever. But maybe if you intend to have a family in the future, maybe we can do some future planning and go ahead and get what you want, what you think you may need in the future. But then there are some riders that have what they call guaranteed, like policies that have like a guaranteed insurability rider where you can get, more coverage in the future. Every few years, they'll give you an option to get more coverage. So, but yeah, single people, go ahead and lock that in now.
And you want to hear something funny? Women do it, men don't.
That's right.
Sisters will come in, they planning, I want to be prepared. A brother will be like, well, I'm gonna buy this car. I'm gonna do this. And so women, I found women are better planners. And we all know the stats is that generational wealth for transfer, it's going to be more wealthy women than it's men because we're dying at higher rates. And so we're leaving all our assets to these women. And so, but these women are doing a better job of planning. If you're single, get on it. You're going to waste it on a happy hour. You're going to spend that same money going to happy hour, going to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, $20 now for a person.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
So would you say, and I would say that being a high value man is someone who understands what it means to protect their family, to protect in advance before an occurrence comes about and they are not protected, or an occurrence comes about and they've got to borrow to get out of a jam. So being a high value man, is a perception, right? And you talked about it earlier in terms of some people, they think that having a big house or a big car is being a high value man. But is that really being a high value man if you're not protecting your family, or you're not leaving an inheritance for your children or for your children's children? As we know, that's in the Bible. That is in the Bible.
Come on, they say you worse than a sinner.
An inheritance for their children and their children's children.
That's it. Absolutely. That's what a high value man is. And I love to leave this statement. It was like a Florida senator that came and spoke at an event one time. He said, life insurance is the only bill in your stack of bills that can make all your bills disappear if something happened to you. It's not your light bill, not your cable bill or anything like that. It's the life insurance that's going to really take care of that, and pay everything off and take care of your family. So,
but it's also the living benefits. And that's an area I think that we have to really hit home with as we're educating people. So if we have living benefits and we can utilize the policy values while we're living, for sending our kids to college, for opening up a business, for establishing a retirement income stream while we're living, that has so much essential benefits, again, while we're living, that I think a lot of people are not really aware of. So we've got to do a better job, in my opinion, of doing that.
And to your point, Jake, that's why the IRS don't tax life insurance.
Right.
These major corporations, if you look up any bank, any major corporations, they buy life insurance by the boatload. Why is that? If the wealthy are buying life insurance, shouldn't the everyday person be buying it? Just something to think about. And they're not using it for death benefits. They're using it to leverage the assets to be able to get things.
That's it.
To be able to send the kids to college,
Absolutely. You're right. We do need to touch more on the living benefits aspect of it. So you can utilize the cash values and things like that while you're still alive. I agree wholeheartedly that we do need to do a better job on that. So let's see here. We got Jared Powell. He made another statement. He said the points are spot on. In our community, many times we are the first to have some resources and have to learn generational wealth. It's a strategy of perpetuation. Wow, he really landed on us. There's some good comments here. Very good comments here. But yeah, I've enjoyed this talk and just meeting you gentlemen and really, just kind of I don't know if anybody heard, but Pierre's actually in the barbershop. We're kind of having like a barbershop style conversation, and he's actually sitting in the barbershop, conversing with us this morning. So
here's a question: that if someone is looking at two African-American financial planners or insurance agents, what criteria should a potential customer look at to determine who they should select going forward? I know for me, I pride myself on trust. I pride myself on integrity. I pride myself on having the knowledge. It's not necessarily just having the credentials, but what have I been able to do for my current client base? And if I'm able to deliver that information to a prospective client, I believe that that client can either go to that source, if I were able to give them that source, but having that trusted relationships and that trusting ability to be referred, that is critical in my opinion, if someone is looking to choose between two different, either a financial planner or an insurance agent.
I always tell my clients this. First of all, interview both of them. But if you can't have dinner with Tiffany, Ethan, Zach, and Max, I don't want to do business with you because we're not going to like each other. You know, keeping it just as simple as that. You got to have credentials. That goes without saying. But I have to have a certain level where I trust and like you. If I don't want to get along with you, it's not going to work. You're not going to want to talk to me. I'm not going to want to talk to you. So it's pointless. You know, so trust. I like that, Jason.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, people do business with those who they know, like, and trust, and that's what it goes down to. So, yeah, that's what it boils down to, for sure.
Excellent.
All right, so let's see here. Right group for the right topic. Thank you, Gerard. I'm sorry. So yeah, any closing remarks, or Jason? I know.
Yeah, I would just say that this has been a great conversation. We welcome more participation from others in our industry. I know I'm charged with encouraging more African Americans to enter the industry because I believe we have the ability to make a tremendous impact by educating more and mentoring more and paving the way for the next generation. And I'm just happy that this forum is available. The Slice, we meet every other Wednesday. So certainly pass the word to your peers, pass the word to individuals who you feel can benefit from this conversation. And I'm just thankful that we've had the opportunity to converse today. Pierre and Jason Marshall, my namesake. How do you get two Jasons and two JMs at the same time?
There it is.
That was awesome.
Destiny.
That was awesome. So, yeah, definitely. Let's meet up again. Let's continue the conversation because it's a welcoming conversation.
Awesome, guys. Nice to meet you all. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to The Slice.
Yeah. Thank you.